Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. In this episode, I'll show you the origin and inspiration source for the Greeks to invent the Trojan Horse myth. The myth of the Trojan Horse from Greek mythology describes the cunning strategy that finally ended the 10-year siege of the city of Troy. Odysseus built a gigantic hollow wooden horse and hid a selected group of warriors inside. And while the rest of the Greek fleet pretended to sail away, the horse was left outside the gates of Troy as an offering to the goddess Athena. The Trojans dragged the horse into the city as a victory trophy. At night, the Greek soldiers crept out of the horse, opened the city gates to the returning Greek army, and took the city. And that was a very bad idea, or a very smart idea for the Greeks. But there's no more need for debate, whether the Trojan horse is a true story or just a myth, because the entire story was made by inspiration from the Milky Way Center. And that's why I'm here. So let's take a look at the Milky Way Center and find the Trojan horse. And let's reveal it here, because the Trojan horse is the entire Milky Way Center. The horse in the sky, so to speak. And let me start drawing the horse, or outline the horse, which, by the way, is the same as the heavenly bull and bull symbolism, overall bull symbolism. We got the horse here. I used to draw it like a flying horse, but I guess you know what I mean. And then we got the mouse here and something like this. And then we got the legs here. And we got the eye here. And then we got the rest of the horse here. Something like that. And we got the stomach here. So this is basically the horse. You know, depending on the myth, it can be flying, it can be lying, it can be... but this is basically the horse. And inside the belly of the Trojan horse, or the inside of the Trojan horse here, is of course the area here surrounding the disc. And the warriors hiding inside the horse is of course the stripes here in the striped shadow. This is always the army, and the load of people, the bystanders, or the crowd, or, everything like this. So here you see the Trojan horse with the warriors inside. But let's not forget that the horse is standing outside the city wall. So let's find the city wall, because we know, or for you, or for those of you who have seen some of my other videos, you will know that every city and city wall is the striped shadow. So here we got the stripes is the city wall, or the city gate. So, and this is always the city gate in basically every single myth around the world. So when you hear something about a gate, the Golden Gate, or the Lion's Gate, or any kind, the Babylon Gate, or whatever, it's always the striped shadow. So now we got all the fundamental aspects in place. So let's go to some key features and see if we can back it up. And let me delete this again. The horse was made of planks of fur over its ribs. And those plank was also related to shipbuilding. So let me start visualizing the ship. The stripe shadow here is also the crescent in the sky and the ship with the sails here. So this is the ship in the sky. Everything from the Argo to the Noah's Ark, whatever. It's all of them. And the Egypt night and day bark and all that. It's based on this shadow or this ship. Oh, and then we need to get the planks. And the planks on the ribs of the horse is, of course, the stripes and the stripe shadow. Which is, by the way, also used to the myth about the ribs of Adam, from Adam and Eve. So now you know where to find his ribs, from who he made Eva. So this is the same ribs or fir wood used to build the Trojan horse. And what else? And some descriptions mentioning that it was made of olive wood, sourced from the nearby Mount Ida. And let me pick another color here, because this area in the Milky Way center is always the planty area, the green, olive green area. So every time you hear something about olive or olive colors and olive, and this is always this part of the Milky Way. It's an allegory of this part. So this is the olive area. And the olive wood, and both the olive wood and Mount Ida is allegories, or are allegories, of the striped and silvery shadow. So here we got the olive wood from the olive mountain, Mount of Olives. And this is, of course, also the Mount Ida or Ida. And basically the entire Milky Way is a mountain. So here we got that. Okay. And the horse was built in a mountainous size, of course. As I just explained, the entire Milky Way center here is a mountain. The mountain in the sky, Mount Olympus and Mount Ararat, and every single mountain you'll ever read about in the mythology or religions or local tales or whatever. Okay, a hole must be broken in the city wall to get the horse into Troy. Very exciting. And let me illustrate that, because we already know where the city gate is here. It's all the stripes here in the stripe shadow. But we need a hole in the wall, and the hole is the arch here surrounding the disc. So this is the hole in the city wall to get the horse into Troy. And by the way, Troy is the entire Milky Way center too. But I'll get into that in another video. Okay, a secret hatch. Oh, now I have to delete this again. A secret hatch or opening was built on the side of the horse, and a rope or ladder was used for the soldiers to exit. Okay. First of all, the secret hatch is the area around the disc, the opening here on the side of the horse. And the ladder or rope is both allegories for the stripes here in the stripe shadow. And this can be a ladder, the same as Jacob's ladder in the Bible myth, and stairways to heaven, and you name it. But it can also be a rope, because the striped shadow is used as an allegory for a rope in many myths around the world. All right. Yeah, and inside the horse, there were they making seats for the soldiers so they could sit down, and the seats is of course the stripes here in the striped shadow. Maybe we could do it like this. So this is the seats, and this is, by the way, also the seats inside the Valhalla in Norse mythology and a lot of other myths. And let me take one more before I end this video. And now I have to delete the board here, because the horse was an offering for the goddess Athena. And first of all, when you're offering anything, you do it on fire, because this is the altar in the sky here. And then we just have to find Athena. And for you who have seen some of my other videos will know that the silvery shadow here is used as an allegory for every single female or woman in every single myth ever done on the face of the earth, because it looks like a female shape or a goddess standing in the sky. So here we got Athena, and I'll make a video getting into the details of Athena later. But now you know why the horse, the Trojan horse, was built as an offering to Athena, because the Milky Way center, of course, they are all a part of the Milky Way center. Okay, that's all for now. Now you know, you don't have to speculate anymore about the Trojan horse, because now you know where to find it in the Milky Way center. And thank you for watching, and I'll be back very soon with a new video with Origin of Concepts. And until then, take care. Bye.